And mentioning blogging, the blogging issue right now is the Michael Richards meltdown. We could call the Kramer tirade. And I don't believe that it was a reflection of the man's political affiliations. I don't believe that it was, a reflection of any type of group views. I think it's a reflection of the man himself. Two Swedish guys take a laptop computer, they flip it open, they take a drill. Well, actually it was already open when the video starts, but they took a drill and they drilled through the display monitor. This was to look at the cool effects. You know, you can get the same thing for a lot less money if you fill water balloons with paint and smash them against a white sheet. Okay, for all my subscribers out there, this is going to be a little bit different vlog. It's going to be short, though, but just commenting on the Dr. Phil show on CBS that had the bum videos guy. Okay, in honor of Dr. Phil, I don't want to call it by its total title because he didn't want to give honor to it. I'm not going to give any credibility to that video either, or those videos. But you ever watch the show Everybody Loves Raymond? Well, the dad on there, Peter Boyle, had died. He died. I saw it on the news just this morning that he passed on, and I really like that guy. He was also the Frankenstein monster in Young Frankenstein. Okay, remember when they were singing at the end, putting on the Ritz? Well, anyway, that's that guy, and he died. So I thought that was really sad because I really liked that guy. He was in some pretty good movies. But before I get to the Super Bowl, I got some NFL news for you. Guess who's coming back for another year? Wahoo! If you're a fan, huh? Brett Favre. Now, if that's old news to you, go, yeah, I heard that. But if it's not, you heard it here first. I got the exclusive on some of you. That's right. I got the exclusive on Brett Favre for some of you. You do it to annoy me, don't you? Yeah. You know I like to keep things nice, and you just make a mess of them to annoy me. Why is it that everything I do bugs you? That's not true. Yes, it's true. You always have something to say about everything I do. The way I fold a napkin. The way you don't fold your napkin. There's always something you're complaining about. That's not true. Everything I do bugs you. Don't be ridiculous. Remember last week? What, last week? The straw? The straw. Yes, when I showed you that neat little trick with the straw, you pulled off the wrapper, okay, so it stays all scrunched up, at the end, and then you put tiny drops of Coke on it. Yeah, and it wiggles like a snake. No, and it makes a mess.
I've watched this video very carefully. I've actually studied it because I wanted to know exactly what my father, Johnny Rocco, is having troubles with. I wanted to know who was causing him so much trepidation. And I'll tell you right now, my father, Johnny Rocco, is probably one of the greatest entertainers in all of Italy. That's right. He has entertained such great men as Don Porcini, Don Tatalucci, and Don Corleone. And for you to disrespect my father so, Don Rocco, well, it pains me in my heart. And I say we've got to whack the guy. Yeah, forget about it. I try not to get upset over small things like this. I try not to go to the mattresses over spilt milk. But something like this, when my father Don Rocco was disrespected so, it is time to go to the mattresses. I've hired a very professional man to take care of this problem. His name is Luca Brazzi.
I've gone ahead and equipped my Epic X, switching to explosive arrows.
Yeah, I'm gonna equip myself with a little, 4 Wheels of Fury!
No way. There's no trucks in World of Warcraft.
What the hell?
Let's do this! Did you see me lay down the law? I am the lawgiver!
Fine! Are you the coach?
Yes.
And you don't know the fella's names?
Well, I should.
Well, then who's on first?
Yes.
I mean the fellow's name.
Who?
The guy on first.
Who?
The first baseman.
Who?
The guy playing who is on first. I'm asking you who's on first.
That's the man's name.
That's whose name?
Yes.
Because I know that's not been easy. And I know the world adores you and adores Gilligan's Island and adores Brady Bunch. They've loved you for 44 years, going on 45 now for Gilligan's Island.
Hosted live at the Improv one time, and this comic got up and said, I would like all of you to join me in singing our national anthem. And he started out, oh, say, can you see? And the audience joined in, and then little by little they all dropped out because nobody knew the words. He said, well, let's try this song and see how you do. I think this should be our national anthem. And he started, here's a story of a lovely lady who was bringing up 3 very lovely girls. See, everybody knows it. That should be our national anthem.
Did I urinate on your rug? You mean, did you personally come and pee on my rug? Hello, do you speak English? Parlez usted inglés? I'll say it again. Did I urinate on your rug? Well, no. I mean, like I said, Woo peed on the rug, man. Hello. Hello. So every time, I just want to understand this, sir. So every time a rug is micturated upon in this fair city, I have to compensate the money. Come on, man. I'm not trying to scam anybody. You're just looking for a handout. Like every other. Are you employed, Mr. Lebowski? Look, let me explain something. I'm not Mr. Lebowski. You're Mr. Lebowski, man. I'm the dude. So that's what you call me. That or Duder, or his dudeness, or El Duderino, if you're not into the whole brevity thing.
I love you. And thank you, Laurent. Where is Laurent? There you are. Okay, good. Thank you. When they asked me if I would come here today and say a few words about Michael Eisner, I really didn't have to think about it very much, because Michael has been an important part of my very long career and my life.
Well, I thank everybody for coming out. I want to specifically thank John Travolta, who flew out from shooting a film in New York City. I have a long and very successful relationship with John. As a matter of fact, we have never failed in a project going back to Potter, Boy in the Plastic Bubble, all those movies John mentioned.
First of all, dude, you don't have an ex. Secondly, it's a fucking show dog with papers. You can't board it. It gets upset and its hair falls out. None of the 3 had ID on them, but they're telling me all 3 was Mexicans. Now there's a question, whether they stopped being, and when. Yes, sir. Now, Wendell, did you inquire about the cylinder lock? Yes, sir. It was punched out. Alright guys, so there's a fire here in Yucaipa, and I'm going to take a wild guess here. You're Brett. Yeah, I'm Brett. I thought so. Well, you remember your business partner, Marcellus Wallace, don't you, Brett?
I remember him.
We are gathered here today in the presence of so many film lovers to join together this man and this sidewalk in holy concrete.
At this great celebration to celebrate Jim Cameron as one of the greatest directors of all times. And you have seen the reviews, obviously. It is absolutely spectacular. I mean, it's getting 3 or 4 stars. And I think because of that, we shouldn't just give him 1 star here in Hollywood Boulevard. We should give him 3 or 4 stars, because that's what the critics are all saying. So it's really the most spectacular kind of reviews I've ever seen on any movie. And I think that it's great to celebrate, because we have had a long time friendship and working relationship and friendship both, since Terminator 1, since 1984. And so it's wonderful to watch his great career, the skyrocket.
First of all, single mothers don't date. They've been to the puppet show, they've seen the strings. Do you love her? Don't tell me you don't know. I don't want her to go. I mean, we've been hanging out a lot. Whoa, 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 whoa. Now that's bullshit. You've got to be fair to her. Single mothers are a sacred thing. You've got to have the talk. She loves you. If you don't love her, you've got to tell her. Kid's amazing. I mean, I feel you, dog. Okay? But a real man wouldn't shoplift the pootie from a single mother.
Amongst his biggest critical and commercial successes were Falling Down, A Time to Kill, The Matrix series, Three Kings, Ocean's 11, the first 3 Harry Potter movies, and Training Day. Most recently, he produced the box office hits Salt, starring Angelina Jolie, the Transformers franchise, and G.I. Joe, The Rise of Cobra.
Let's keep the energy going for Mark Wahlberg, right? Come on! Keep it going! Mark Wahlberg, just stand right there. Keep it going, don't let it die down. 30 more seconds, keep it going.
Here, and I want to thank Jeff Zucker, who was integral in helping put the television show on the air and to keep the television show on the air, which is not an easy thing to do these days. It's very competitive. I want to thank Ron Meyer from Universal and Lauren Michaels, of course, who's our producer, and Tina, who's the creator of the show. I also want to thank Christy Chan from NBC Publicity, who's been such a great...
Whiskey. You under prohibition? We don't pay much attention to it here. You got a phone in this place? Who you want to call? My mama. We got phones, but they ain't working, since you need a switchboard operator to run them. You got electricity? Got that. Runs on gas generators. Hope they stay working. Nobody left to fix them if they go bust. To tell the truth, most of what they call decent folks have been run off. I don't know anything about your previous matters. I'm here because a special situation exists that we feel you might be able to help us with. Well, what might that be? I've been in jail longer than Nelson Mandela, so maybe you want me to run for president. Not exactly. Pity. I feel rather like Alcamenus. Who? Alcamenus. He was imprisoned by his king in ancient Greece. Like Sir Walter Raleigh, the same fate. James the First. Even someone as bright as you might be aware there's a certain pattern emerging here. Alexander Solzhenitsyn. Yeah, I heard of him. Didn't he play hockey for the fucking Red Wings? Now, it makes you a free man, provided you cooperate. So if you'll just sign where it says
Signature? Yeah, signature. Well, Tome doneos et done farentis. I fear the Greeks, even when they bring gifts. Oh, an educated man. That rules out the possibility of you being a field agent. Famed wrestler Randy Macho Man Savage was fatally injured today in a car accident. I guess they said he may have had a heart attack while driving. His wife was the passenger. But then his car swerved into oncoming traffic before hitting a tree. And he died from his injuries. He said there was no alcohol or anything in his body, so it might have been from a heart attack while driving. It's just unfortunate, you know. He was born Randy Poffo.
It's on.
All right.
But it's like zoomed in.
Yeah,
like
it's zoomed in a little. Right there. Tell me when.
You're good.
Right
but I can't see the sign.
I would like to say one of the things that's so I think is so terrific about Kurt getting this. I think there's a wonderful old Hollywoodness.
An unabashed showman would be nice. Someone who will cast aside the imposition of the request to appear. For that you need a friend. So Quentin, thanks for being all of the above, but especially for being my good friend.
So we're here in Yucaipa on Yucaipa Boulevard, right outside of the incubator center, which I don't know what an incubator center is. Is that where they do like for fertilizing eggs and stuff? But this guy was up here. I guess he was looking for money or asking people for money or something. One of the deputies tried to approach him and he took off running. So we have the sheriff's units here with the subject that allegedly ran from them and was taken into custody. He's here in handcuffs.
How you doing, sir?
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, I got a call that you're out here filming.
Yeah, I know.
It is what it is. I mean, it makes people, you know, what's it called?
Back up a little.
A little apprehensive.
Well, I understand all of that. The reason personally for me doing this is since 9/11 in 2000, everybody's scared, of course. But the problem with that is they want to give up, they want to impose their will on people. We start giving up our rights under the guise of national security, national safety. So this is kind of an education to people that, you know, look, people are still allowed to film in public. People are still allowed to walk back and forth in public.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
I mean, you're on a public
yeah.
side.
And I'm not saying you're doing anything wrong. I'm just saying that's my purpose, is to say, look, you know.
To give me your identification?
I can give you a.
Run you up. Make sure you don't.
No, I'm not on parole or probation. I have no will intent or ill will.
And I'm not. You're not detained and you're not under arrest.
Right. Well, I do have a. This is my YouTube channel.
You're not authorized. You're a federal employee, sir. You're not authorized to be
Yeah, I'm
right
on
now.
a public sidewalk, so I'm on a city sidewalk.
This is government property that you're recording.
Right, but I'm on the city
But it's
sidewalk.
operational security, though. Why are you doing?
No, it's not operational security. You're in public.
Not here, sir.
Yeah, you can't trespass the eyes, Sergeant.
Excuse me?
You cannot trespass the eyes. If I can see something in public, the U.S. Constitution says I can film it, and the California Constitution.
Okay.
Article 1, Section 2 of the California Constitution says you cannot
But you can't
create
record
a
people
law.
without the permission. That is the law.
Yes, you can.
No, you
If
can't.
you're in
Not without my
public,
permission.
according
No,
to the
you cannot. Not
California
on permission, sir.
Constitution, you cannot make a law
record
that
people.
prohibits free speech and press. So that what you're saying is not a
Well, you're not
law.
part of the press, though. You have no.
Yeah, I
nothing.
am press. I'm an American citizen.
We understand. We're all citizens here, sir.
Right,
but
so
you're,
you could be the
so you
press
rather
too.
defile the safety of my soldiers for your own arrogance
safety,
and your
they're in
ego.
public.
Is that what you're saying?
They're in public, Sergeant.
No, we're not. We're on a private government facility.
No, you're on a city sidewalk right now.
I'm not actually.
So.
I made sure I wasn't.
Well,
But if
I'm
we're
on a
doing-
city
You can't record
sidewalk.
us here on a
Yeah, I
military
can.
facility.
Yeah, I can. It's legal.
Do you have any information on yourself, sir? Any credentials? Anything before I call the police?
Well, you can go ahead and call them.
Okay.
That way they can educate you on the California Constitution. Article 1, Section 2. Go ahead and look it up. Afternoon.
Officer McNeely, how you doing?
Good, sir.
You doing a story?
Yeah, we're doing a story on how public officials respond to free press.
Oh, how public officials respond to free press?
Because some will tell you, like, well, he told me you can't film me, I'm a federal employee. But he's
long as you're on a sidewalk, like I told him, you can't trespass the eye.
Yeah, no,
I was actually getting ready to leave, but I seen your guys' car, and I didn't want you to have to drive around looking for me.
Oh, yeah,
so I came back down here.
No, I mean, you're on the sidewalk, and you have every right to go up and down.